don't know what's going on with my computer.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, hey, how you guys doing?
Hi, Jay. How are you?
All good. It's a lot of world issues we have to deal with. I don't know how we could bring world peace, but we're going to try. Just for the town. Okay, how many people do we need? 6.
No, five. Yep, five.
Maybe Rizwana or somebody will show up.
I'm expecting Rizwana and Alex to be here,
Oh, okay.
and maybe Silas.
Mm.
Perfect.
Let me see.
It says we've started recording, right, Philip?
Yep, it automatically records once we join.
I'd like to just wait. It's only 5:59. Let's give it a couple more minutes.
Yep, that makes sense.
There's Alex.
Mm. Philip, I just sent you something now in case this needs to go on the screen. I'm not sure.
I don't have my phone with me, but if someone could text Rizwana and ask her if she's planning to come, we can wait. If not, we should get started. Philip, my understanding is that we cannot take a vote if we don't have a quorum, but we can certainly meet. Is that correct?
That's
Oh,
correct.
there's Silas. There's Silas. Great. Okay. In that case, I think we should get started. It's 6:01 p.m., March 18th, and I'm calling the meeting of the Human Rights Commission to order. Let's start by taking attendance. Milan?
Here.
Liz is absent. Rizwana, not here. Silas?
Here.
Oh, I see Rizwana right there. Rizwana, we're taking attendance. Okay. Ronnie here. Jay?
Present.
Alex?
Here.
Rizwana?
Here.
Okay, thank you all. That's wonderful. Welcome today. Let me read my piece first. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, this meeting will be conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to access the meeting may do so via Zoom or by telephone. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. Okay, welcome everyone. We usually start with public comments. So is there anyone in the public who would like to speak?
No one in the public.
I don't see anyone, right?
Nope.
Okay. Well then, thank you all for coming. Let's begin with, there's no public comment, so let's begin with member reports. Who has any reports to give us? All right, well, I'll go first then. I wanted to let you all know that we submitted a request connected with the sanctuary bylaw to the town manager to be submitted to the town council. Some of you may remember that we did this last year. I don't know, Philip, if you have the, do you have it sort of easily accessible?
Have what? The letter?
The thing we sent asking for the town, for the, I guess for the police department to submit information about ICE contact.
Right.
I'll just tell,
I was
I
gonna
just
say
wanted,
I could pull it up if you want me to.
okay, if you can pull it up, I think it will help people to be able to see it. And then I'll just say what it is. Our charter allows us, if there are 3 registered signatures from 3 registered voters, to submit an information for request. And so what we have done, you actually will have seen this because I think in December, January, we sent this around and I asked if anybody wanted to sign, to put their signature on it, but nobody on the commission expressed interest. So I went ahead and talked to CSSJC, and we only needed 3 signatures, and I got some neighbors who I know are interested in this issue to sign on as well. Milan did sign, so from the commission. So basically, it's a request from us asking for these 4 things that have to do with the town's contact, the town's law enforcement officials' contact with ICE officials. And for all the items that we requested, they said there's been 0 contact. So basically they responded that regarding detainer requests lodged with the police department, they said 0. Regarding the number of individuals that town law enforcement officials detained, again 0, having to do with immigration. Total number of individuals transferred to ICE custody, 0. Total number of requests received for certification of new visas, 0. Okay. So basically there's been no this confirms that there's been no contact between our law enforcement officials and ICE. Is that correct, Philip? Do you want to add?
No, I have nothing to add, but yes, that is correct. That's what the report indicated.
Okay, so this is going to be presented to the town council at the next meeting, which is Monday, the 23rd. If anyone wants to be there and make any comments, you're welcome to do so. But that's something that we did, the Human Rights Commission did. I also wanted to report to you that the town council has appointed Councillor Jill Breivik to be our town council representative. She couldn't be here today, but she does plan to be here starting next meeting, and she plans to be very involved. Silas?
Oh, I was just gonna say that's great news. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, she's very interested in our issues, so she's a good liaison for us. And then I just wanted to remind you one more thing. The League of Women Voters of Amherst is sponsoring a Zoom discussion with Ariana Kagan of the Pioneer Valley Workers Union and Javier Luego Garrido, who is the lawyer for the ACLU Mass, working on immigration issues on the ground. This is sort of a special talk, and I hope you'll encourage people you know to do it. There's no pre-registration, so there won't be any list of people who registered. You just log in at the time, and you're let in, and nothing is going to be recorded. So the talk won't be recorded, the questions won't be recorded, the answers won't be recorded. So we're hoping this will encourage people not to be afraid to be present or to ask questions. So, and as you know, both of them can work in Spanish as well. So if somebody wants to be present and ask their question in Spanish, they can do that too. Okay, so that's on March 26th in the evening on Zoom only. And I think you all got the flyer from Philip, but it's sort of a unique opportunity because it's about as private as we can make things. And that's it for my reports. Did anyone remember anything else you want to add, or shall we move on? Okay, let's move on then. The first action item is to approve the minutes. Let me ask, has everyone read the minutes? Are you ready do you have any questions or comments? I guess I should move first to approve the minutes. I'm moving to approve the minutes. Can we have a second, please?
Second.
Okay. So before we take a vote on this, I would like to say that I did read the minutes and I have substantial comments on them. And I would like to suggest some of it is content, some of it is writing. So I would like to suggest that I give my comments to the DEI office and we return to vote on this next time. Is that acceptable, Philip? Is that a reasonable way to proceed? Because right now I don't want to take the time to go over all of these. There's a lot here.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what the group wants to do and not move forward.
So I would like to withhold the vote. I'm not going to put it to a vote because I feel like there are lots of changes that need to be made, but resent to you all with the next round of minutes.
Do you need a second for that?
Yes.
Then I can second.
Okay, let's take a vote then. All in favor of postponing the approval of these minutes, please say aye. I guess I have to call your names. Nilan?
Aye.
Liz? No, she's not here. Rizwana?
Yes.
Silas?
Aye.
Ronnie? Yes. Jay?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's go on to the bylaws.
Just really quick,
Yeah.
if anybody else has any edits since they're being deferred to next month, just please send them over as well, so that way we can hopefully get them all edited and then to you all for your April meeting.
Yes. All right. The bylaws update, who would like to do the update on that? Does anyone? Jay? Milan, anything new?
No, I have no new information because that was the last GOL meeting that I attended, and then after that you went.
Okay, so I saw a revised version, or no, I saw a sheet that showed the changes, and I made several edits to them and sent them back to DEI because there were some things that I felt were incorrect. I think it's good to talk about, to just be clear about where these came from and how long they've been around. One of the things that was stated was that Tyler and I were the authors of it. And I wanted to be very clear that a lot of it was written before Tyler and I got to it. And maybe Philip knows more. But I know that we wanted the definition of human rights changed. And I know that Pamela ordered the procedure, wrote out the procedures for the complaints. Then when it went to the lawyers changed our definition, but I thought their definition was very good, better than ours. And they drew their definition from examples of other bylaws of other towns were using, so it was more consistent with the other towns as well. So the definition we proposed in the end is really something they wrote, but we all thought was good. So we went with it. And now, as far as I know, the GOL said that they have to review it line by line. They might break up what's called the bylaws into 3 parts so that there's a separate bylaw, a separate charge, and then we would deal with the procedures with their approval, and so on. So as far as I know, nothing has happened. They will probably report on the status of it on the Monday town council meeting if anyone wants to go and hear it. And then we'll know where we are with that. My guess is that they're not finished with that because it looks like there's a lot of work for them to do. Is there anything else anyone wants to add to that? Okay, well, let's move on to the human rights statements.
Right,
I think we had 2 that, sorry.
Silas was trying to say something.
Oh, I was just going to ask, is it
Sorry,
Monday
Silas.
or Tuesday, the 24th, that they're going to be reviewing that?
I don't know when they're going to be reviewing it. I was just talking about the 23rd, which is a Monday. It's a town council meeting. And the GOL will have to report to the broader town council about the status of the bylaws.
Oh, okay.
And
I see now.
I assume they'll just say it's in progress. They won't have done anything yet.
Right. Okay.
I don't know when they're meeting when the GOL is meeting, but that they would be the ones to be discussing it.
Okay. Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay, the human rights statements, I think there were 2 pending, one Jay's, and then Milan and Pamela were going to work on something else. So Jay's statement we have in our packet, so maybe we should start there. Jay, the floor is yours.
Okay, given the current state of affairs in the Middle East, where the United States teams up with Israel to go to war with Iran, has led to a large-scale devastation right across the Middle East, affecting a number of countries, including Qatar, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, etc. Now, that is a lot of stress in the region. And I'm quite aware of many, local residents, people who have moved here, worked in the area, and now retired in the area, who live in Amherst and in some surrounding towns. I'm also aware of many faculty members, staff, and students who come from those areas. In addition, we also have people with strong family roots in the Middle East, and they are concerned for the safety of their family members. So this affects our town directly. This is a college town, and it brings in a lot of international folks. Because of the nature of the town, it may affect us more so than some of the neighboring towns around us, but that's the nature of the beast. So in response to that, I decided to pen some statement calling for some level of decorum and nonviolence, where there is a hopeful ceasefire, and to resolve and to de-escalate the situation, and to safeguard the interests of the inhabitants of the Middle East in general. But caught in the crossfire, of course, there are many people traveling from around the world who either visit the place or they have flights, for example, in Dubai, and in places like, Doha, right, like in Qatar, like with transfers, plane transfers, and that affects the whole world. So in response to that level of complexity of what that might mean for the town, I think it's important for the Human Rights Commission to have a statement in response to those events. Hence the statement.
Thank you. Okay, any comments on the statement?
One thing that is not necessarily tied to content, but is more around formatting. Um, on our website, we've been posting them like without the in with it not in PDF and Word form. Is that accurate, Philip? Like it goes into like a text block now instead?
Yes, it goes into a text block.
Okay, so there wouldn't be any bulleting or other options available. It'd be needed to be reformatted.
No, we could do bullets.
Okay. I was just curious about that piece as well for consistency with any future.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it brings a good question. I mean, we can do a lot on the back end of the computer. We've even done where like the statement for reaffirming Sanctuary City, like that is a link that goes to a PDF on there, but it's kind of what you all would like to do. If you want it to be consistent and just be text block, that could happen. If you want it to be links that link to PDFs, that could happen.
Okay. And are links to other like sources a possibility? Like if we were to cite sources or no?
I couldn't see why not. I would double check with our communication manager, but I would assume yes.
Okay. Thanks. Sorry, I just wanted to check in with that, Ronnie and Jay, before we
Sure,
continue.
yeah. Well, I would like to say, Jay, that I really appreciate you putting into words the tremendous amount of violence that's going on, not just in the Middle East, but all the others who are impacted. And as you point out, a lot of our residents have family or other connections to people impacted by the war. So I appreciate you putting it in language and writing in such a short form. Um, I would like to suggest one change only, and that is in the second bullet where you say the upholding of international human rights for all people throughout the Middle East. I would say the upholding of international human rights for all people impacted by this conflict, because I think a lot of people are affected who are not in the Middle East. American businesses are affected because of the price of oil. Um, I think there are just people in Europe who are affected because they're afraid, countries within proximity. So I would just say impacted by this conflict rather than throughout the Middle East. Um, I propose I propose that one change, but I just love it. It's strong, it's forceful. Prioritizing peace and protection of civilians, I think, is really at the crux of it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm quite amenable to those changes. It makes sense to me.
Anyone else? Take a look at it, please, and be sure.
Ronnie, Liz has entered the space. Can you just acknowledge her and time so that way we have it for the record?
Okay. It's 6:21, and I am welcoming Liz Hagood to the meeting. So any other comments on this statement? Okay, then I move to vote to approve the statement with the one proposed change. Anyone seconding?
I can second it.
Jay second. Okay, let's take a vote then. Please say yes if you approve, no if you do not. Milan,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Rizwana,
Yes.
Silas,
Yes.
Vani, yes. Jay,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
thank you. Motion is passed to the statement of the Amherst Human Rights Commission on the crisis in the Middle East is passed. Yes? Okay, thank you. I know this would have been hard to write, Jay. Really appreciate you doing it. Next item is the HRC.
Really quick, Jay, just for procedural things, do you want to send me the Word document and me edit it, or do you want to edit it and then just send me it and then I can upload it? Either is fine with me.
I think just go ahead.
Okay, I'm just gonna need it in a Word form because I can't edit the PDF
Yeah.
that you sent over. That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, welcome, Liz. The next item is HRC info cards. Philip, do you want to talk about that?
Here, give me 1 second just to pull them up. So at your all's last meeting, oh, that's the wrong one, sorry. I know that one, I wasn't here, so I am working off of the video and Pamela's edits, but I know that there was some feedback for them, so hopefully this reflects what you all have given for feedback, and ignore the way that it printed. That's not how it would print once we get them, the extra t text box there, but content is what we're looking for to move forward on them. And then if you'll see, we added in the QR code for the language that you all wanted from the Declaration of Human Rights, and then other changes that were added from there. And I will say this is our interns doing it, so that is why I'm a little bit less knowledgeable on some of the major changes that happened. But we did translate it into Spanish as well. So if you all want changes, let us know and we will work on them.
So I hate to be the one bringing this up over and over, but when I read this card, I liked it a lot this time around. I did sort of notice that, respect and dignity are not mentioned, those words. And I feel a lot of what human rights offers to people is respect and a sense of dignity, treatment. I don't know, dignity is like at the core of it for me. So
Yeah.
sorry, Ms.
Yeah.
Wana, were you saying something? Who was speaking?
No, sorry, that was me.
Okay, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, sorry. I think that there was a cross with the sound. Anyway, I think that the language of respect and dignity, that is quite consistent with the UN. That's the term. Those are terms that they always use, and it might resonate, I think, strongly if we do include that.
Okay. Any other comments? So I just read it before the meeting after reading the notes, and I didn't come up with alternative language, which I know is really icky. I apologize for that. Silas?
Oh, well, one question that I had was about contrast, and I was wondering about the like how it would print out. But one of the things that I'm curious about is if it has enough like contrast with this the blue to be read. Maybe it's just me that I kind of have a little bit of a hard time reading it, and I don't know if there's a way to darken the font or what's happening here, but it feels difficult to read.
Yeah, certainly. So this is printed out and then it's scanned in, so we can definitely make contrast to make sure that it like actually prints out well on that. So it might just be the printer ink on it. When I look at it through it, we're using Canva, so when I look at it through Canva, it is much clearer on it. But as far as color background, we went with the colors of the UN is what we did, but
Hmm.
certainly change the color. That's not anything that we're tied to. We just needed a color, and I told them to use the color of the UN and that bring it all to you all for final approval.
I like the color. I think that the it was more so about whether or not it was legible, and so if it when it's printed, it's more legible. That sounds great with me. It's just something I wanted to ask about.
Totally. That makes sense.
So I don't know if there's room in the text to say the commission strives to ensure that all persons are treated with respect and dignity. And then comma and continue, enjoy equal opportunity.
Yeah, we can.
Could I hear some comments on that language? Is that okay with you all? If you just look at the very first sentence, the commission strives to ensure that all persons are treated with respect and dignity and, comma, and enjoy equal opportunity to participate, blah, 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 all the rest of that stuff.
I like it.
Okay, Alex is nodding her head. I'll consider that a yes.
I think the word,
Swana, Liz Milan. Yeah, Jay.
yeah, this part here where it says human rights are rights people have as human beings. Okay, they're not granted by any states. So I would say instead of just have, I'd say human rights are rights people enjoy or people embrace or something, as opposed to just have. Human rights are rights people.
Well, the word enjoy has been used in the very first sentence.
Yeah, or does
Maybe
it?
that's why
Oh,
it was done
okay.
like that. Maybe it
Oh,
was just a simple thing. Yeah.
yeah, maybe we could find, some other word.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the wording too is pulled from the bylaws also. That was something that we were trying to simulate also.
Uh,
yeah, human rights people.
Another note here is learn these rights here. I think might be missing a word like learn about these rights here.
Is
I agree. The word about should go in there. Learn about these rights here.
This is really small, but can we capitalize the word Zoom in the second paragraph? Like make it start with like a capital Z.
Mm.
Well, along those lines, the commission should be capitalized in the second paragraph. I have that marked. Any other comments? We should really get everything down now and speak up now so that DEI can finalize this. We need to get it approved and out the door. Ideally, we would have this for the global village so everyone can, so there's a chance to distribute it. I don't know if it can be done that soon, Philip, or
Uh, I mean, if we get it approved, maybe what you all should do is identify a point person to have like the final approval here, or if everybody gives the approvals and then we go back in the office and get it done, we can probably have it done by next Wednesday and then hopefully get it out to print by that Friday, which would give 2 weeks for printing, which should be more than enough time.
I wonder if we could right now, since we're looking at it and taking the time, can we just agree on the changes? And I'll ask you to raise your hand if you disagree. I'll just go through what we said. I think or you can go through it, Philip, if you want, if you've written
Yep.
it down.
So we're gonna add in where it says all persons are treated with respect and dignity, and then learn about on that last sentence there, capitalizing commission and zoom on the second paragraph.
Okay, does everyone agree with those changes? Just raise your hand for this one. If you agree, raise your hand, please. Okay. Everyone agrees, so I think you can go with this, Philip.
This is the back side of it, so just making sure that this back.
Oh, right. Any comments on the back side? So the only issue I have with this is that it starts out sort of in a harsh way. Complaints must be submitted. It's, you know, but it's true. They must be submitted. It's not they may be submitted. I just can't come up with a softer way to say that so that it's welcoming. It's not like you're moving into the realm of such formality that, it's a little intimidating. But that was just me. I would be open to other comments. Otherwise, I'm good with it personally. Others,
Well, yeah, I mean, you could change it to, complaints should be submitted in writing, and then it becomes softer.
yeah, I'm open to other comments. Come on.
If you change it to should, that gives them an option of something. So it seems to me that the must has to stay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. If you're gonna say should, I don't know what the other option is.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
the reason I said should is because if they don't know how to file and they may not want to file, they will chat with DEI first. So they're chatting with DEI, and then it becomes, what should I do kind of a thing. And then it's like a soft entry into the DEI space. Then from there, you could say, well, actually, this should be in writing. And even the word should, it should be in writing, could morph its way into a must without actually saying must. That's what I'm saying. And, trying to bring humanity to that part of it.
Just think should gives them an opt out. So that's just my opinion.
Mhm.
Well, and then the second sentence also has the must be filed within 6 months of incident. I don't know how you all feel about that. I think also this is meant to be the back of the card, so the front of the card is what people should ideally be reading first to then flip it over to how to file a complaint. So the formalities of niceness, if you will, for lack of a better word, should already be there.
Should be established. Okay. Yeah, I think we do need to be clear with people. I wish there was a softer way to be clear, but I am not coming up with it. So unless somebody else can come up with another idea,
What
Silas?
if what if it started with the second paragraph? So complaints can be lodged with the DEI office by scanning the QR code or
Mhm.
visiting it here or by calling the DEI office. And then complaints must be submitted in writing.
Yes.
Well, okay, so this is a little confusing because it says that complaints must be submitted in writing, but then it says the DEI staff may be able to assist you, which is, I assume, what the DEI office, like calling you all, would entail.
Right. Assisting is that ideally people are meant to fill out the form and officially lodge it, but if we got a phone call or someone walked in, we would not tell someone, hey, go and like leave to go write this complaint. We would then help them during that time frame.
Okay, and so
Well,
oh, sorry. Well, in that instance,
no.
I would I would propose that at the end of DEI staff may be able to assist you in person or over the phone 413-259. So that way it's just a little bit clearer about that process piece. And then my suggestion would be to, yeah, start with the complaints can be lodged by, and then go to the second section that kind of
What if,
explains it more.
what about starting with to learn more about the work of the commission and how to file a complaint? Oh no, the video doesn't tell you. I see. Okay. Agreed. I agree with what Silas said.
Yeah, I think
Others.
Silas's answer is, much clearer because what you're saying up front is, here's the help. And so that leads into the process of the help. So in other words, like you're pointing them to the door. And then once you point them to the door, then you point them to the people inside the room.
Any other thoughts?
Yes. Yeah, I have one also.
Yes.
I think we should just say that we welcome any feedback or concerns you may have, or kindly submit any complaints that we can address them promptly, something like that. So we welcome any feedback, or kindly submit any concerns so we can address them promptly. We can use that kind of a buffer.
I think the word
Or
confidential should appear there somehow.
Uh, the first sentence says that you will need to sign your name, so I'm not sure confidentiality is something that can exist.
I guess I'm wondering for that confidential piece if it's like the difference between anonymous and confidential, and I guess I wonder if what Jay's just
That's
proposing is that it's illustrating
The
that it
latter.
won't be revealed their information, but of course it would collect their information. Maybe the confidential online form,
Or you could
or
say
I don't know.
do
Yeah.
something along the lines. Maybe complaints can be confidentially lodged with the DEI office.
But
Or
it says, oh, sorry.
go ahead.
The last sentence says additionally, complaints are shared with the accused.
Mhm. That's kind of the piece of where on practice, we say where everybody has a right to know, an allegation that is against them, and that's part of the process is that we hear both sides and then try and come into some type of mediation and or agreement. And so therefore it is difficult to go to a place or organization and say, hey, so and so or someone sometime somewhere made a complaint against you, and the organization go, we don't know what you're talking about. Like that could be anybody.
But beyond that, sorry, Rizwana, go ahead.
yes, this is the last one. Like, for example, the warmest version, I think, might be that if we say we encourage you to feel confident sharing any concerns with DEI team, so they are here to listen and support.
I think here too is I would say you all should think about what you want on the card and knowing like information. So you guys have the link to the video, which goes much more in depth, as we all know, of this whole process. And so that's, I think, something to consider too, is that you all are giving people a little further information. It's just enough information to know at least the first step, right, of contacting the office. And of course, once they contact us, we would run through everything with them. If they wanted to by themselves watch the video, that also would be an option for them.
How about if you need help writing your complaint or have questions about confidentiality, the DEI staff may be able to assist you. I don't know. I guess I feel like it's not confident. It's not totally confidential, but it is in the sense that you don't report it publicly. You don't discuss it even with the Human Rights Commission. You don't tell us what the complaints are. They're like, who complained against whom? So in that sense, there is a degree of confidentiality. We don't want people to think that once they complain, it gets around, but there has to be a certain degree of trust. And, if a reporter, for instance, a journalist wants to, makes an information request, it won't be held confidential. It'll be out there. So I think people should know that they don't have the fullest protection. But is that something you tell somebody? Actually, do you explain that, Philip, when they come in with a complaint? You
Right.
signed your
Yep.
name, but we're not going to be talking about this to other people. We're not going to be publishing it in our reports, etc. So when they're at that time, they know.
Mhm. That is definitely something that we cover, and the part of the confidentiality that we do cover is that, the next step after someone makes a complaint and would like to move forward is that we would contact the other party so they know that the other party will know that they are being contacted on the issue. So,
Yeah, so I guess I'm okay to let it go as it is. Can I hear from the others? Are you okay with it, or do you want to make a change? I'm just gonna call you, just say it's fine, or I'm not happy with this. We'll start with Alex.
Are we talking about the confidentiality piece specifically or generally?
Yeah, the confidentiality piece on this side of the card. The other
Yeah,
side's
yeah.
already agreed.
Then I'm
Okay.
good. I'm good with the way it is.
Jay?
Jerry, you're muted.
Yeah, I think that the issue here is that we're talking about limited confidentiality, right? It is confidential up to the point until, as Milan said, we've got to share that with the accused. So I don't know the right word for that. I mean, there is a level of confidentiality in that, like, Rani says, it's not going to be broadcast around the world. It's just going to be within the DI office and the accused. So how do we get the language there, and how do we transmit that information? And
I
we don't
guess,
want,
mhm, mhm.
and we don't want,
Yeah,
want to scare away, the person from complaining. That's the issue too.
I would add to that also that we have to show them that they should be confident. The confidence part is very important, and empowerment, that when they come in, they should be confident in sharing and knowing also that obviously it's not going to be very confidential. But
Okay.
mhm.
Yeah, I think just adding in
Let's
the
go
one.
around. Sorry? Do you have a
I,
specific change? If not, I'd like to just say, yes, you're happy with it, or no. I just want to hear from everybody. And then I think what I'll do is if we still need to work on it, then whoever feels it needs work can work with Philip on finalizing it. Because we don't want this to go on to the next meeting. We want this to be done and, to be available at Global Village. But we don't have to resolve it here at this moment. So my question to you is just, are you okay with it, or do you feel like it needs a change? Jay,
yeah,
you have
I
your
think
hand up.
just one word. Like I said earlier, complaints can be confidentially lodged with the DEI office or by scanning that. So with the insertion of the one word, then within the office, they could define to the complainant what is the scope of the confidentiality.
Okay. Shall we go back around and see? Philip, what do you think? It's saying complaints can be lodged, confidentially lodged with the DEI office.
The DEI office will maintain a level of confidentiality. And then that's when the DEI office, whenever the complaint comes in, can explain to them what is entailed in all of that. Otherwise, I'm good.
I think
At the time of lodging, it's not confidential. It's only after you lodge the complaint that DEI can, well, I don't know. Go ahead, Philip.
I was just gonna say I think that channeling my inner Pamela here to not have the call, but I think that it's going to be difficult to say that we are going to promise confidentiality. I think we can say that we can strive to have confidentiality. Um, I I certainly get the sentiment to add the word confidentiality and to add that word to then make people feel comfortable that, they're going to come in to make that complaint in that. I do think that it is difficult to promise confidentiality.
Okay, Liz, if we take the recommendation Jay has made to add the word complaints can be add confidentially lodged, does that work for you?
Nope.
Okay. Has not spoken yet? Milan?
I don't think we should use the word confidential if it's not, because also too, if you share it with the accused, they can talk about it with whoever they like. So I don't think we should even create that type of expectation.
Good point.
Very good point. Okay, who else has not spoken? Yeah. I guess my inclination is to say leave it as is because I think the confidentiality piece is very shaky on these things in reality. I mean, we have to build relationships with people in town. We have to be at events. We have to explain how things work. And there has to be a certain level of trust. Otherwise, that's really what this works on. The complainant has to trust that Philip is not going to go talk to the office next door about, somebody's complaint. They have to trust that.
Then in that case, I think we could just leave it as is and allow the DEI office to then define the scope of what the confidentiality issues are with the complainant.
Okay.
I think also too,
So,
where you just have the little asterisk at the bottom, you could just say, while complaints aren't public, they may be shared with the accused. So then it's just saying it's not public information, but it will be shared with the accused. So it's not something that's part of a public record. I would.
it says complaints are shared with the accused at the
Right,
bottom.
but if you want to add the point about it being not public, because I'm guessing that's where the idea of confidential is coming from, is that it's just not being shared publicly. So if you just say that the information is not shared publicly, though it will be shared with the accused, then I think that does create an expectation that it's not going to be able to be pulled up on a list of reports, but it is still going to be shared with the one that you've reported.
I think the quote at the asterisk at the bottom is very wordy. So I think we can keep that information and keep in and add that complaints, we like the word additionally is not needed. Complaints will be shared with the accused, but not with the general public. Maybe.
Yeah, we could just say, while not public information, comma, complaints are shared with the accused.
Yeah, that was better wording. Yeah.
If that doesn't fit like in the line, could we say that the complaints are like shared only with the accused? Could that be like a more concise way of saying that? Or
That's not true though.
okay.
Because if you have to bring in somebody else to help with the complaint, then other people get involved.
Yeah, when I think about this, my major issue would be any kind of like a legal slapback if we promise too many things and we cannot deliver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like we're agreeing that just the footnote will be reworded to include that it's shared with the accused, but not the general public. Is that correct? If no, say no, please.
Yes, that sounds
Okay.
about right. Yes.
Liz, are you okay with that? I think that's a yes because I see a hand. Is it a raised hand?
I am actually driving and I'm getting off
Okay.
of 15 and getting onto 91 and it's hairy. So that's why
Okay,
I'm
that's
coming from New
fine.
Jersey. So,
All right. Drive safely.
yeah,
Drive safely. Don't worry. All right. I'm assuming that we're in agreement. If if you're in favor, just raise your hand and we'll send this on with the changes discussed. I see hands. All right. Thank you very much. We'll consider this settled. So before we go back to Jay, Philip, do you feel like you have all the information you need to finalize this?
Yeah, I just want to check in with the second one. So the first one, I already stated. The second one is we're going to say DEI staff may be able to help you or assist you, and then we're going to change the number or add in the number at the first paragraph at the bottom. We're going to switch the second paragraph to the first paragraph, and then we're going to add to the asterisks, complaints are not made public but are shared with the accused, in the wording there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep, seen it. Okay, that
you
is
might want to say
all.
the DEI office does not make it public because the accused can make it as public as they want.
Yeah, that.
So,
Yep.
yeah, so the DEI office will not make it public.
Mhm.
Yes, you should
Okay.
say that. Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo. Don't come over here. Thank you. Sorry.
We will add that in there, and yeah, like I said, I believe we should get
Great.
this done by next week, and then hopefully have it off to print. And Aileen will be, our intern will be watching this video. So Aileen, let's make all these comments happen, and thank you.
All right. Okay, so let's go back to Jay, who had a hand up, and then Silas.
No, I'm set, thanks.
Okay, Silas.
Two other small things. One is I think commission needs to be capitalized again, capital
Yes.
C. And then did we, I'm curious, did we decide not to include human rights complaint for a particular reason because it goes broader than that, or would it make sense to have the human rights complaint somewhere on this?
Oh, I think it should say. Hmm.
I was just making sure that it didn't say it at the front. It does not look like it. Yeah, we can add in human rights complaint.
Okay. Yeah, that would just be my other suggestions. That way it's clear.
Okay. All right, let's send this baby out to grow up and become a card that we can use. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, DEI update is next.
Great.
Uh,
So we are in the process of doing trainings for town staff.
sorry.
Sorry, Jay, is this back on the old thing or is this something else?
Yeah, back on the old thing. I thought, that we were going to look at that, temporary protected status that Milan was working on with the editing.
Yes, he was supposed to work on it with Pamela, but there wasn't anything in the packet, so I assumed it wasn't ready
Yeah,
for discussion.
it's not ready.
Okay. Philip, continue, please.
Yep. So we're doing staff training, and that happens once a month. And so we're doing topics that include kind of a 101, which is kind of baseline understanding of topics. And then the next month we follow up with the 2.0 version. So this month is 101 on debate, discussion, and dialogue. And if you all aren't familiar with the Dignity Index that exists, I would encourage you to look it up. That kind of goes hand in hand with the Human Rights Commission work. That's what we'll be training staff on through that, and then taking a deeper dive in 2.0 version. We are doing department trainings. So department trainings is kind of a more geared towards hopefully everybody coming to those trainings and we meet them kind of where they are at. So we go to APD, we go to Fire, we go to Rec, we go to Jones at their location. So then that way all their staff have trainings on topics. And so that is being done. We have three more departments to complete. We just completed one of the sessions today, but it is a three-series session. So that will get done by the end of the fiscal year. Black History Month, we had a celebration that honored local educators and the 100th year of celebrating Black history in February. So just want to highlight that event that existed that we did. The department hosted a vet breakfast on the topic of debate, discussion, and dialogue. And so the vet breakfast happens every first and third Friday of every month. Everybody is welcome to attend that. That happens at 8 o'clock at the Bangs Center. So if you're interested, even if you're not a vet, they encourage you to come and just have open dialogue with veterans and their families, friends, and anybody else that comes to those breakfasts. The department hosted a community heart and soul conversation. That is a grant that we are seeking after to continue the work of liberatory visioning alongside with our Becoming Beloved Community series. And so that heart and soul looks at kind of what people love about their community and what they would like to do with the community. So the grant is a matching grant. So it's a $10,000 seed grant that then would get matched through fundraising efforts. And so then that would give the work of Community Heart and Soul what people in residence would like to see kind of what that money would do with. So examples that exist are, vitalizing the downtown, stuff with schools. It really is kind of what community members want to do. Those examples are just kind of what have happened throughout the nation. Just real quick, just as a side note there. The department participated in the Hampshire Queer Conference in February, so that conference happens annually, and so that is in support of our LGBTQIA plus community members. The department hosted youth programming, which was a game of real life, and we had 20 participants. It was a really great day to see youth learning about how to navigate life. I had the fun job of being the banker with credit card, and we gave everybody kind of just a little debt and how they had to pay it off. So it was very interesting seeing kids learn about it. And oh, if I pay the minimum balance, and I'm going to be paying this for 15 years. If I pay a little bit more, I'll be paying a little bit more. And then kids went through navigating life, and it was kind of a selection process of like how many kids you would get and just different things like that. So it was very funny seeing kids realize like, oh my goodness, like kids cost a lot of money. And so that was a really great event. We hope to host that again next year and grow it every year from there. The department currently is hosting youth programming for the Amherst Global Village Festival for youth entrepreneurs to sell their products at the festival there. So we have about 8 groups, 10 youth sign up, possibly 11 youth sign up. So people are partnering up, but there will be 10 businesses there, and they are getting updated on the website for the Amherst Global Village Festival. That is going to be a cash only event, so please bring your cash. It makes it difficult for all the card processing, so we're encouraging cash only sales for the youth entrepreneurship program, and we will make sure that that is known widely. But yes, they are going through a 5-week course with that, learning everything from they've already decided their business, their logo design, what they'll be selling, and then we'll go through how to price their stuff and sale pitch and all that fun things. We actually had Senator Markey stop by the first day. He was just happened to be in the building and in town, and so he stopped by to see the kids. And then last week we had Carefree Cakery business owner stop by to really talk about what it is to run a business from the ground up. So the kids are really learning a lot of useful information there. The department is also hosting the Amherst Global Village Festival, as you all know, April 11th. And so we're excited with all of our partners that are helping make it all happen and go through. The final form has closed as of last Friday. There will be 17 performances. So really great day of performances. There are about over 60 vendors from selling items to community information. There are going to be booths there for the town to highlight some of the aspects that different departments do. There will be food trucks and food vendors, so it's going to be a great family, fun-friendly day. So invite as many people as you possibly can because it's going to be a great day on there. And then the newsletter that goes out, you all know about that. So just wanted to highlight those and wrote them down so that way I didn't forget anything.
Okay, any questions for DEI, Silas?
Oh, I just wanted to highlight that I think that there's still times to sign up for, I think Pamela sent out an email to everyone, and specifically for volunteering for the Amherst Human Rights Global Village. And so if you haven't already, please go and fill that form out with your availability. I think it was it 2.5 hour slots, Philip, that were
Yeah.
on there? And I'm sure if you could stay longer, that would be appreciated too.
Definitely. If you can sign up for more shifts, that would be greatly appreciated.
I'm not sure what it looks like now, but when I signed up, which was right when the thing came out, it looked already sort of full. Is there a way, if it says 2 slots, that you can add a 3rd slot and say, I'll come too? Or,
Right,
I
yeah.
mean,
I believe it has been updated. You'll have to let us know.
um,
I did see your email and then I did go in the back end to see if I could fix it. So I think I did, to the best of my knowledge, through using.
no, I'm asking a different question. This is, there are like 2 people for a slot, right? When I went for our area, like there were a lot of slots that were just full, they were taken. So I'm just wondering if it's taken, can you still add yourself on? Like I know the time slot before the one I signed up for was taken. It was full. I mean, you had CSSJC there, but there are 3 groups that are part of that presentation. So I sort of feel like there ought to be room for more people to.
I see, I see. Yeah, so the way that we did it was we had 2 slots available for every 2.5 hours with the idea that, you all are a commission, CSSJC is a commission, and then persons with disabilities is a commission, and so that hopefully through you all, that table would be filled at some point with someone from the Human Rights Commission, at some point with someone from CSSJC, and at some point with someone from the person with disabilities. And we are going to make up flyers for when someone that is not there is there. Of course, if you would like to stay at the table and help out, I'm sure no one is going to be like, oh, this is so crowded and like we don't need anybody. So I do know that CSSJC did take up a time slot where both members are there, but I'm sure they would welcome a human rights commissioner to join them at the table and be there. But yes,
Exactly.
you are correct that there is only 2 slots there. But there will be a flyer detailing kind of what the commission's mission is, what time they meet, and all that information, and then queuing people to go to the website.
Great. Okay, any other DEI related questions?
The only other DI thing that I have that I forgot to add in the update is that for Youth Hero Awards. So we are looking to open up that call. Me and Pamela just talked about it, April 15th, because that would be a month away from May 15th, which then would be the closing date, if that sounds good for you all. So a month for people to nominate youth. So that would open April 15th, close May 15th, and that would give us 2 weeks before the event to make sure that we have a write-up for all the youth and everything else that needs to go through. We'll reach out to Mindy Dom like we did last year, so that way she can award the youth a certificate as well. So we feel comfortable with that timeline if that works for you all.
Um, okay. I guess we're back to public comment. I only see 8 participants, so no public present. So there won't be any public comment. Can you confirm that there's nobody present? I think the
No.
8th person is Liz. Okay, so just before we go to the next meeting, I wanted to remind everyone that Liz's term will end in June. and we have 2 vacancies already. So please do your very best to talk to people about the work we're doing, and if they're interested. We don't just want people in the commission. We want people who are interested in the work that we're doing and committed to human rights, and will come to meetings. So please talk to people, try to encourage people you know to apply to join the commission. That's really, it's going to be really become urgently important for us when Liz is no longer here. And that's coming up in just a couple of months. Okay, so then the next meeting is April 15, 2026. And with that, I am pleased to adjourn the meeting early at 7:08 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you.
We need a
Bye-bye.
vote.
Bye,
Have a good
everyone.
night.
Do we need a vote
Bye.
for this?
No, you don't need a vote for
Okay.
adjournment.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.